Hey, this is Steve with Senior Success with Steve. Our first lesson today is going to be about buying time. Let's face it, as a senior player, we need a little bit more time on that court to get to the ball and to do the things we want to do on the court. So let's figure out how to buy time. The first thing we're going to talk about is early preparation. Let's begin with early preparation from the baseline. Since when we play a game, returning serve is a ground stroke. We're hitting from the baseline. We need to prepare early. It all starts from a nice ready position. We want to have our ready position, of course, athletic stance, knees bent, but the paddle out in front, because with our paddle out in front, as soon as I turn, I've brought the paddle back as a unit with my body. Instead of, I see so many people, here's their ready position, well, they're straight up, they can't move very quick, and then when they do turn, they still have to move their arm back. So we're trying to save all those extra movements. We're trying to buy time in this lesson. So my paddle is out in front, and by turning, I've already brought the paddle back as one unit. Just by getting everything turned early, it feels like the game is going slower. So what I see way too often are players that don't prepare early, and they do a few things like this. I'll show you. So bad ready position. Now I got to turn at the last second and they just swinging at the last second, getting their arm and sticking their arm out, rather than having that ready position that sets up early preparation. Look how much time I'm saving. Just by turning, I have my paddle back and I'm waiting. I can never get turned too soon. On this part of the lesson, we'll talk about early preparation while you're at the kitchen. That might mean how to be prepared early when you're hitting a dink shot or a volley. Now remember, we have to be ready for both. So if you'll notice, my paddle is going to be out in front, and I hold my paddle generally high because if I'm dinking, the only place they can hit me is in a high spot. So I'm already prepared. I'm not down here. If I'm down here, I have to move my paddle a long ways. I want to be early prepared. The other thing about being early prepared at the net is pre-setting the paddle face where you want the ball to go. If I want the ball to go right at the camera, my paddle face is pointed right there. If I want the ball to go in a certain area in the court, I preset it early. We'll show you. Notice how I'm having my paddle up as soon as I hit my dink. Right now I'm hitting short dinks. The only place that I can get hit with a fastball is up high. And if you notice, my feet are wide apart, just about like I'm playing basketball, and I'm in a defensive stance because I can cover a lot of court and get there quickly. What I see too often is students in a bad ready position. Their paddle is down low, usually close to their body, which isn't going to help them be prepared early. I'll show you a couple of the things that I see going wrong a lot. Standing pretty straight. Now I have to bend down to hit it. That's a lot of movement. So I'm not only moving more, but it's hard for me to be prepared early. And if I get hit with the ball up here, that happens so often with players who don't have their paddle up, they're not prepared early. Another thing that can go wrong when you're not prepared early at the net, you have your paddle down, your opponent hits you a high ball, and you're trying to get the paddle up, but as you get the paddle up, you also hit the ball up and they smash the next one. That's actually what they're looking for when they do a speed up. Now let's talk about having early preparation while we're hitting volleys, balls that haven't bounced yet. I teach the concept of presetting your paddle face as early as possible toward your target. So I have my ready position with the paddle way out in front because this is where we want to meet the ball. For instance, if I'm going to hit a forehand volley, as soon as I know it's a forehand volley, my paddle face is preset to the target. Now I'm early prepared, I won't be rushed. So my forehand would look like this, and my backhand would look like this. I'm preparing early, and my paddle right now is pointed toward the target. What I see too often at the net with students is when they don't prepare their paddle face early, or they prepare their paddle face, they preset it, pointed in the wrong direction. For instance, this is the common one I see the most. Preset my paddle face too far open. That one's going up in the air, long. And usually they realize, oops, it's pointed wrong. I better close that paddle face. Then they hit it in the net. But if I can preset my paddle face early, look at how I can be successful from here to here. Watch what happens if I don't prepare early and I preset the paddle face pointed the wrong direction. Well, we won't be able to have probably very extended rallies. Watch. My paddle face was pointed the wrong direction, and then I had to make a last second adjustment. That's when you see people flicking their wrists. Paddle face again. Not prepared early, probably down too low. So again, paddle out in front. You can never prepare too early. Let's slow down time by being prepared early. In this scenario, we're going to talk about getting to the desired spot early. That's part of early preparation. So what we want to do, we're going to be serving when that receiver hits that ball. We want to watch the ball come off their paddle and early on detect where the ball's going so we can get to that spot early. And if we have to, we'll use some communication to say yours or mine so the right person, correct person gets to that ball early. Here we go.
7, 3, 1.
Got it. So what I see teams do oftentimes is, well, besides not watching the ball come off their paddle, not getting to that spot early, and by the way, they're usually not getting to that spot early because they're not moving until the ball even crosses the net. You should be moving way before that. But something else I see a lot is ball gets returned in the middle between the two partners. Nobody calls it. Either nobody goes for it or both of them go for it, which both of them cause a problem.